Okay. Jerry, it's been a long day. But we got a review or an impression, I would say, that we got to talk about. I know you made it a lot farther than me, and the show is called Kakushi Goto. I think that might be butchered, but you know what? That's not the purpose.
Yeah,
Damn
right.
right, All Might.
Damn
Um,
right, all right.
this is a horrible time for him to start barking. But yeah. Tell me how you felt.
I felt great. I
Okay.
was hooked. I did get to the fifth episode,
Okay.
so I'm about halfway. It's only 12 episodes,
All right.
and I like the premise, and it offered more than just what you think from the premise. Which is
That was gonna
the
be in
premise
my
of the
notes if I
show.
had any. I wasn't an adult today, so I fucked that
Okay,
all up. But
at least you put on pants.
how? What do you say,
At least you put on pants. That's
Jerry? I don't have on pants. No, I'm kidding. I did. It was last minute. I was really thinking, it's like, can they catch my knees in the video? And yes, you can. But if I raise it higher, no.
look.
I.
That's premium Snapchat and Patreon,
Mhm.
and
But yeah. Oh yeah. OnlyFans. But we haven't started that. Um. I do want to. You tell me what you liked about the show, and I'll go into what I liked about the show. But before we jump into that, we should talk about what the show is about.
yes,
So from my understanding, I only made it to episode. I only finished the first two episodes, uh, and the show is not boring at all. But I fell asleep because I was tired,
bitch.
and oh my! I woke up to the dogs licking me, so it's a whole thing. But the show is about this father who is trying to hide his job from his little girl, and he is going to the extreme to hide that life, and it affects everybody around him in some episodes, which makes the show 10 times funnier than what it is. Like he goes to the extreme. I have a little gif. I found out how to make gifs. uh
Oh,
yeah, that's new. That's new. But hold on, I found out how to make gifs, and I want to play you the thing that I made of this guy lying so many lies. That's the only thing about the main character. I love the main character. I love the characters in the show, but
yeah.
he lies his ass off. So that's pretty much the premise of the show. I'll let you go ahead and talk about that while I find this gif I made.
Okay. So yeah, he is a manga, but his claim to fame is very etchy and dirty.
That's why he's trying to hide it.
That's
That's the
why
big purpose of, yeah. He draws
he
dirty.
absolutely doesn't want this little girl to find out about it at all.
Yeah. Let's see if we can
But
share
the
this screen.
characters are really great. Awesome. Especially like the rest of his office, his babysitter, the girl's teacher.
Do you see what I see?
Yes.
So I record just a couple seconds gif of this guy running home, right?
All right.
Just to get the editor in time, because the editor wasn't supposed to go to his actual house, the editor for his job. And there the editor is with his daughter, and he's panicking. And that's pretty much every episode. Uh it's a dope thing. I really like the animation. They make things a little bit over dramatic, but in
Yeah.
a
In a fun way.
controlled, fun type of thing. It's not too crazy. Uh, but what you hit on a little bit earlier, where you said this show talks about things that you really wouldn't expect. I'm learning a lot more about the process of, mangas and stuff. I always
Yeah.
like shows about that. That's really cool.
It is
They break.
super educational.
Yeah, yeah, and I find that really really cool. Tell me more about the different things that they go into, since you made a little bit further than me.
My favorite thing is that it's an editor's job to make sure the manga doesn't draw what they want.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like, oh,
Something that Hideo Kojima needed. Yeah.
yeah,
Somebody to tell him no. And this
yeah.
motherfucker
So
just
it's
came out
like,
with an Amazon game, but it's okay. People like
that
Amazon
you know,
that much.
the process of just leaving reality right before a big deadline, just to
Yeah, I did see
yeah,
that. I did see that. Do you feel like that is tradition or is that necessary for production?
I think that is necessary for production in general,
Okay.
especially like maybe if you have a lot writing on it, or if you have like a decent amount done and you're just doing finishing touches, but you've had trouble with this part and you've had trouble with this part for a consistent while, and you're just like, I don't get it. Why am I having trouble with just these last parts?
Just
You
take
just
a
gotta
just step back.
step back,
Just step back.
step back,
Come
pretend to just
back
be
in with clear eyes, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that is dope. I didn't expect to learn anything, and I did. And I actually put this in the category of shows where it's like, okay, this shit might be able to teach me, not just laugh at it. So I actually put this away from my comedies and into the shows where I consider like maybe a slice of life, but it's like a good show, but it's something a little bit more there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I
Because a lot of
definitely
my comedies, I just sit back and get wasted and I'm just like laugh my ass off and I don't really care. Or I'll just be on my phone. And then if something funny happens, if it's dubbed, I can multitask and shit like that. Mainly, most of the time, I'm watching comedies in dub. Most of the time.
my issue with like comedies and dub is a lot of things don't translate well.
Mm-hmm.
A really poorly translated joke or sub in joke that's not done well. Sometimes they do sub in jokes right. They'll do something that's close enough in English to what it would have been in Japanese, and it's still funny. Other times it completely falls flat.
Yeah, I
Especially like the ones where something sounds like something in Japanese. They don't make any sense when you translate them.
Yeah, I get that. I think the shows that works well for me, English dub comedies, is the ones that have a little bit more of a American touch to it, with the whole like underlying tone of the show. I felt like that with Full Metal Panic Fumifu, because he was such a gun nut. It's just like, oh, he's American. He really wasn't. He's just in the military, but he just reminded me of so many crazy people here. But back to the show.
Back to the show.
Talk to me about the characters. Are you annoyed by his daughter, or uh, uh, are you just thrilled to see her on the screen? And is she just adorable? Is she
So
annoying or adorable?
my favorite thing about the daughter is that she isn't overly cute.
Right.
She's not an overly forced character. She's legitimately just a little girl. Something's
Yeah.
interests
So
her,
many dirt.
something completely over her head, and she just rolls with it. It's like watching an actual child as compared to like Sweetness and Lightning. As much as I love it, they definitely put a focus on making that girl cute. And
Yeah.
she's cute as hell, but sometimes it's a little much.
Okay.
So she is done just right.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. It felt like an actual, you know how some shows where the little girl doesn't feel like a little girl, she's just a little girl for anime purpose.
Yep.
And you know, they try to make that little girl maybe 300 years old and then sexualize her, whatever. It's stupid, but whatever. This little girl feels like my niece.
Yeah.
It feels like she things go right over her head, and I think it's because she just doesn't care enough for it to matter that much. She's just like,
Yep.
oh well, whatever.
Just,
Or
just
and
a
then
kid.
I do like about this show is that from the very beginning, the very first episode, it starts off as she's 18 and she's finding out about her father's secret. And so the show kind of goes back and forth about that. Her as a 10-year-old and then her as an 18-year-old trying to slowly figure out what's what. And you start to notice that she kind of didn't want to know what her dad was doing to protect that image of the father, which is what little kids do. They try to find ways to protect that image, and they just block out whatever else that's not really necessary to
See,
them.
it's that little like storyline being told at the same time makes me not really want to put it in comedy
Yeah.
because it's like watching Ippo get ready to Dipsy Wo, and it's just like
And he
I'm
just
gonna hurt you, I'm gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna hurt you right now, but ooh, when I
yeah,
go off,
I feel you. I feel you. Oh man, just like nonstop. Yeah.
yeah, just
It's and I for some reason I'm getting, it's not a sad tone of this show, but I'm getting some type of seriousness where there's moments in the show where it feels like a comedy, but then it feels serious. Nothing dramatic. Nobody's dead or anything. It just feels like
well, no shouting
it's
battle. It's just
you said what now?
I said no end of the world, no shouting battles. It's just
Right.
heavy sometimes.
Whenever they focus on the daughter finding out about the secret as an adult, the whole tone of the show to me changes.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that because it makes me not bored of this show. It makes me feel like, okay, it's not just a comedy, or even if it was just a comedy, it's like, okay, there's more to it than just this constant tone.
I get real upset when they tease things like that at the beginning of something, but the way it's done progressively is great.
I would have been mad if you just see that and then like by episode 12 they go back to it. It's like, really? Why? Yeah. So I'm glad they didn't do that. So we talked about the animation. We didn't go too deep into characters. Is there any other stars of the show to you that shines? Who do you like?
I love his assistants.
Okay. They are cool as shit.
Female ones.
Yeah, they are cool as shit.
Both premium waifus. I love the teacher. Okay. She is on it.
Wait, which one is the one that kept stranger danger? Yeah. She the shit. She the shit. So
she is protecting those children no matter what.
The second episode I was creeped out because I was like, oh my God, it's an old man spying on kids in the back of my head. And I was like, how does this carry over to the average anime? This is the first show. I was like, what the fuck is this? But it's the dad, and he's just being a dad. When you think about it, he's just being overprotective. He's being overly
going on a field trip to the beach, fire, water. And I'll be behind that tree over there.
And then he brought in a chef to help his daughter's cooking. That's how overly protective it is. His daughter was going to make some curry for the rest of the students, but he was like, yeah, her ass can't cook. So I'm going to go ahead and get a Indian chef to come in. And while she wasn't looking, there's a scene where the Indian chef is looking at the father, and he's just throwing in spices like this good? And he's like, yeah, that's good. And then come to find out it was way too spicy. They're kids. Just let the kids be kids, man. It's a really great show. I'm not a dad, so I don't know if I could recommend this to other fathers and they would be like, oh, I get it, or something like that. But to be honest, I think this show can be for everyone. You know, it's rare when there's shows that, you know, everybody can watch, and I think this is something for everybody. It's not, even though he draws like ecchi, dark comedy, whatever. Nothing. This is not like a tit flapping show, man.
Yeah, not at all.
Tits are normal, dude. It's no tits all over the shoulders and shit. So I this show is definitely in my queue. I'm already like got this shit fired up. I'm gonna finish it this weekend.
I'm also
finishing hurry up and get it out the way. You said what now?
I'm also finish it this weekend.
Yeah, I gotta knock this out. Do you have any other things you want to talk about on this? Because I didn't write any notes. I'm trying to think of little things that I wanted to bring up. but I can't really remember that much. The one thing that you covered, the first thing was the stuff that they talk about, like the actual manga artists and what they go through. That was
Yeah.
my biggest note.
So it's very educational. It's
Mhm.
very well done. The characters are super. Even though you're not like getting like big backstories or anything, all of the characters are really unique and flushed
Yeah,
without that build up. Like the assistants feel like assistants. You can tell which ones are new. You can tell which ones have been there for a while.
yeah, yeah. I don't know if they go deeper into the side characters, but I do like shows where the side characters kind of slowly they dive a little bit more into each character. So I hope this is a show that does that, because I am interested into the daughter's friends that she's hanging around with and see what's going on, because they were definitely about to get her in trouble.
Yes. This is
What kids do, of course.
sure.
So, but yeah, it looks interesting. Let's see. This is I'm starting to see more anime that's LGBT friendly, with the one shop owner guy
Oh
who
yeah.
was teaching him how to sell at the end, or where he was chasing the little kids when they called him a monster, and he was like, "I'm a monster. What are you talking?" It was just a goofy, funny scene,
That
and
whole joke has been my favorite.
yeah,
Not the joke at him, but the freaking Starbucks joke was so good.
it how do you feel about that? Like, do you feel like the representation is being forced, or is it honest
Yep.
and fair?
It's definitely honest and fair,
Do you think
but
someone would or could be logically offended from that scene of the kids calling the guy a monster, and then him just running off like,
it was
I'm
like,
not a.
well,
It was just silly to me.
so they didn't really call him a monster. There was something they considered a monster, and they called him that word. And he's just like, wait, that word is new. Is that a compliment? Is it an insult? Tell me. Get get back here and tell me. I'm so
Yeah,
confused.
yeah, that was a good scene. This show does a lot of stuff right, man.
It
Uh,
really does.
and it doesn't take too much time on anything. Like, even though for me that second episode where they were the field trip to the
Yeah.
beach or whatever, instantly I was like, oh my god, a beach episode on the second episode. Where is this show going to take me? But it was a pretty good episode. But what was I saying before? I really like how this show doesn't take too long on certain things. Like, it was a beach episode, but they were also still in the cabin and they had to deal with their own stuff, which was really funny by the end of that first episode, because they were doing so much dumb shit that the cops end up coming to the house and they were like, what is going on? Are you guys robbing a
What do you
bank?
guys do here?
Right.
We draw.
And that's another
That's
thing
not what evidence shows.
that you know what? You hang out with a lot of artists, so you may have known this, but I didn't know that so many manga artists keep props and all this other type of stuff around. So when a cop is just going through his shit, like, why do you have a sword? Why do you have these weird pants? Why do you have this fake gun? And I was like, oh, these are references to help me draw or whatever. And you know what I'm saying? I it never even crossed my mind, you know?
But you can look at it in a picture and maybe it'll help, but some
Mm-hmm.
people need more in depth. They need to hold it, flip it around, get it from different angles.
Yeah. And then also I'm assuming it helps with when you're doing shading and shit like that for the different lighting techniques and stuff. This show, it's a solid pass for me. This has been one of the uh solid shows. Is I can't see anything that irritates me about this show.
Yeah.
What they do it right,
Yeah.
in my opinion. And the name of that show is, what is it? Kakushi Goto?
Goto.
Kakushi Goto,
Yeah.
I believe.
It'll be in the video description. Definitely super solid. Probably in my top 3 of this year.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's really good. It is really, honestly, truly good. Way more than I expected from it.
Hmm.
So I'm
I
very glad that they ended up picking it up.
yeah, I appreciate this one. I don't want this video to go on too long. I don't from Zoom I can't really tell how long we've been running anyway. But do you have any final notes about this show?
Just check it out to see a very natural father-daughter relationship.
Yeah. It is cool where it's not it doesn't seem over the top. He's just like, yo, she can't find out. That's the only thing, that's his only issue. And
It's not that love to the point where you're just like, wait a minute, is he a
yeah.
pedophile?
Yeah. Or not the crazy love where the fucking mirror guy and Marie and Black Clover, it's not
Yeah,
to that extent. It's a healthy actual relationship. What
healthy.
that
Actually,
was is obsession, and he needs to work on that.
he needs help.
But yeah. So this is definitely in your queue. I'm assuming after what
yeah.
you the high praise you gave it, it's definitely in my queue. Guys who's watching it, please check it out. Jerry, give us some motivational shit. Actually, show me your shirt. What is that? What is that?
One Piece.
All I see is a bunch of episodes. I don't even see characters. Anyway,
One
that's a really
Piece
nice
Day was
shirt.
like 2 days ago.
I don't even watch
So
One Piece, but I do like that. I do like that. But man, she got a mean forehead. I'm just stating obvious. Dude, that is a big ass head.
it's just how the shirt is drawn. They're
So I'm
cheating you
guessing
there.
that's the one that come up with all the plans, right?
No, calm down.
Really? Calm down?
We'll do
You
another
sure?
video about One Piece, okay?
They could at least gave her some bangs. Let me end this video before I go too far. Just but yeah, thank you guys for watching. Check out Kakushi Goto. Give us some motivational words to end this off with, so I can sign
Don't
this
talk
out.
about Nico Robin's forehead. That's
What you said? What's her name? Forehead?
Nico Robin.
Oh, okay. It's forehead. All right. Yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank
And
you.
word of advice: if you don't have bangs, buy some. All right.